All right, guys. So headlines lately have been high beef prices. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get around upstream of the beef prices and kind of get an idea of where the marketplace happens between producers and buyers. So today I'm in Apache, Oklahoma at the Apache Livestock auction with Justin Kuykendall. So Justin, why don't you tell us about Stockman's and kind of give us the history and stuff?
Okay. Yep. As Cody was saying, I'm Justin Kuykendall. I'm kind of the general manager here at the Apache location. Stockman, Oklahoma Livestock Incorporated is a cattle marketing firm, I guess is what you'd say. We're one of the 9 firms in Oklahoma City. And I mean, a historic stockyard's the only working stockyard still in the United States. You know, we're there. We sell calves and feeder cattle on Mondays, kind of the odds and cows and packer bulls on Tuesdays. We actually do a video where we go to the country and video cattle. We have a market that we sell here every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then, of course, we have our normal sale here every Thursday, normally start about 7 a.m. and just kind of go from there.
Yeah. So where did Stockman start at?
Stockman started pretty much in the early 80s with Bill Griffith and Tom Gillum, and they started in Oklahoma City, you know, when Oklahoma City was the hub of everything. You know, they had their packers, and they had, I don't know, I think that back when they started, they sold 4 or 5 days a week. But them guys started the business. I think they bought this facility in 1988, I believe. And then in between there somewhere, they brought Bob Rodenberger along, and he was helping them in the city. And then he came down here, was a manager for 30 some years. Me and Bob still talk every day. Greg Griffith is also one of our partners. He kind of runs the Oklahoma City branch. You know, they bought this pretty much in 1988 or so, and then just kind of went with it. And then Bob brought on board the video.
Okay.
The video sales, I think in the early 90s, somewhere around
that long?
Yeah, it's been around for a long time. But kind of started that way, and we've just kind of grown it. We would like to think we're kind of a family, you know, based business.
Yeah.
You know, nothing makes me prouder when the grandson and the grandpa walk in there and we can market their cattle for them. You know, our average size producer here is like 12 head at Apache. So you're never going to be too small for us to work for you.
Okay.
You know?
I was going to ask that, like, who's your buyer and seller? Are they big producers, small producers, a little bit?
Well, we have a little bit in between. It seems like our larger producers seem more in Oklahoma City. Of course, on the video side of things, you have to have a load lot. And when I mean a load lot, I'm talking about a pot load, basically 48 to 52,000 pounds. So that's kind of our larger producers. And then, like I said, here at Apache, we are a 12 head average, you know. Couple weeks ago, we had 2,800 head. I don't know. We had 235, I think, sellers or something like that. And we had like 176 buyers.
Okay.
No, we won't have 176 people sitting in here.
But between
online, which you can get on cattleusa.com, and you can bid online on our Thursday sale and our Wednesday sales. Or, you know, lots of order buyers will have your order, my order, and his order, you know, for certain farmers or certain feed yards or so forth. So one guy might be carrying, you know, 10 orders, 10
right.
guys or something. But we have a really outstanding market at Oklahoma City, the video, and here. Yes.
So like when someone brings them in, if they would just want to sell or buy 1 or 2, they can do 1, they can do pot loads.
You can do 1 or 500, you know, or 1,000, whatever.
And on the Thursday sale on site, what classes of cattle is that?
Okay.
Everything goes on Thursdays?
Yes, sir. Everything kind of goes on Thursdays. And you said you was going to ask about the cattle numbers. Since the cattle numbers have fell off a little bit from when they was in the early 80s and so forth, we start out kind of our singles and odds, 1, 2, 3 head little deals early that morning, and the market's still outstanding. And then we go to our smaller groups, and then we move up to our little larger groups, and then we kind of go to the feeder cattle, and then back to the calves, and then we will start with our kind of our pairs. Cows after that, pairs, cows, and kind of our singles, and then we end up the day with our bulls. Okay. And majority of them are going to packers on the bulls. And we'll have 2 or 3 every now and then, you know, week to week, that you can buy and take back to the farm. But
and then on the online, that's pot load.
On the videos on the Wednesday
or on the Wednesday sale.
Yes, sir. Okay. Pot loads.
So you have a team that goes out in the field.
Yep. We have a team of there's about 10 of us from Texas. You know, we do business, a lot of business in the edge of Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, and we actually will go out and video them, market them for you. We'll roughly sell 40 to 50,000 head a year. Just depends, on the markets and so forth. We ship cattle to Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado. Other day we shipped some to Minnesota.
Wow.
California.
Man.
So that's where the online bidding is really beneficial to the sellers.
Right.
Obviously the buyers too, but to the sellers because it just opens up a new market.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
so coming over the last couple of years as prices have gone up,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see in the increase and how is it today? And then what are you seeing for going in the future?
If you would have asked me 5 years ago if we'd have seen $3.50 feeder cattle, I said, no, you're crazy. But you can ask my dad, 1975, he bought the best Chevy for $1,500 and now they cost $85,000 to $100,000.
Right.
So we needed to move up far as the price of beef. It's still really cheap in the stores. This movement has allowed our cow-calf producers to catch up on some bills, be honest with you,
Right.
because our cost of production had gotten so high, we needed the market to keep moving forward. Obviously, we were the lowest number we've had in 73 years.
Herd size.
Herd size, cow-calf, yes, sir. Do we have to have as many as we did 20, 30 years ago? No, sir, because we've done a better job with genetics.
Okay.
We get the carcass size larger now. They'll kill a 1,500-pound steer.
Right.
And that's a lot more hamburger. You used to kill a 900-pound, 1,000-pound steer. That's how we've just changed over time.
More volume.
It's no different than the oil field. They said in the 80s they was in the state of Oklahoma, there was oil rigs everywhere.
Yeah.
Now you don't hardly ever see one. They go horizontal, vertical, everything in the world. I don't know nothing about it, but we've kind of done that in the beef industry. We do a better job. We get them bigger genetics. We can feed more people.
Get more per head.
Yes, sir. More per head. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you talked about some of the input costs, fertilizer,
Yes.
equipment, trucks,
Yeah.
land prices, all those have gone up.
Yep.
And beef
Yep.
prices have stayed, or cattle prices
Exactly.
have stayed flat.
Basically stayed flat. It started with, obviously kind of easing up when we got tight numbered, but then they come out and they shut down the Mexico border.
Yeah.
So, they'll import a little over 1 million head a year. In 2025, I think we'd roughly got 250,000 then cattle across, but that is shut down, due to the horn fly.
Right.
Then the tariff situation came on with us trying to get some things in balance and on the political side of things. Then, so they upped the tariffs and so forth. So we quit importing quite so many, and it really tightened up our numbers is what it done. So it made the demand, obviously our demand is still outstanding for beef, really, and the cattle numbers are down. So we're headed in the right direction if we can just sustain it, We don't have to have $5 feeders, but if we can sustain this $3 to $3.25, $2.75, it's still a good market.
Where producers are still profitable.
Yes, sir.
And
Yep. Yeah. And the government came in and did some LRP. It's livestock protection. That lets you, I'm also a stalker operator. So, nowadays you invest $2,400 trying to sell him for $2,800. That's a pretty tight margin, and you want to protect yourself. But there's several different tools out there, and we can actually help you here at Stockman's. We got Specialty Risk, who does all of our LRPs, and we can help somebody if they're uncertainty about that or whatever. We'd love to visit with them about that side of things also.
Interesting.
Yes,
okay. And as far as shipping them in, shipping them out,
Mm-hmm.
how does the process work? When normally does the producer bring his stuff in, or do y'all go get it?
Most of the time, no, sir. The producer brings them in here to our Apache facility or Oklahoma City. Only time we go get them is on the video.
Okay.
If I buy your cattle load lot on a video the day of delivery, you'll come up and we'll get with the feed yard and they'll say, I'm going to get them Thursday, December 25th. I will grab the truck, weigh them at the co-op, bring them to your ranch, load the cattle that we describe, and send them to the feed yard, write the producer a check right then.
Okay.
And so forth. Here at Apache, basically, like I said, we're a 12 head average size. 2 weeks ago, we were lined up plumb to the highway.
Oh, wow.
I love it, working for the small guy.
Yeah.
Most of them guys bring them in on a Wednesday after work,
Okay. Day before the sales.
Day before the sales, you get them in here. They got a job or so forth, or we can get them in here. We'll put them on. Every pen we have has water in it.
Okay.
So then we hay them water, feed, so forth. Or if you want to bring in big cattle, we got larger traps out here, Bermuda grass.
Okay.
You know, if they're coming in from Texas or somewhere and need to rest. But
for people that don't know the process, once the cows get in here,
uh-huh.
you sticker them right off the truck.
Yes,
mark them.
Yep.
Do you check them at all?
On our calf side of things, if they're not just a single, we will put we call it the male. It'll write Cody Elliott, 4 head of bulls. And I know what pen they go. That male follows them cattle. It will follow them back up here. On a single, we will sticker them, and it'll have the number. And on that sticker, you know, it keeps track of everything, basically. Then on the cow side of things, we have to run them through. The Barker family has done our vet business forever. You know, LD, and then his son Matt now does all of our vet business. Frag them, age them. They run through the chute. They handle that side of things. They'll sticker the singles and odds, or the groups. We can mail them also, but they have to keep track by the state, you know, of all that situation.
Interesting. And that was another question: who regulates the auction business, or even the cattle trading
we're
business?
actually regulated by the state and the federal. You know, the state kind of oversees that. By that back tag, they can tell you our Apache location has identification numbers, and we know that it came from here and county and so forth. The PNS is the Packers and Stalkers. They're going to make sure that our tickets balance. They're going to come in and audit you. We have a group that comes in. We have to have records of our scales and make sure that they are certified.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you're weighing them what they
We're
should be.
weighing them what they should be. Yes, sir. You know, and obviously your state is involved as far as runoff and so forth. But no, have a great relationship with them.
Okay.
And
how do your auctioneers, are those contract workers that go to different sales, or
yes,
they
sir.
full-time employees?
Yeah,
You guys
we actually have James Reynolds and Dustin Glover. James is kind of over Oklahoma City. He's kind of a manager up there and auctioneers some up there. Dustin Glover is born and raised at Elgin, Oklahoma over here, and his family, I think he's the 3rd generation Glover to auctioneer here at Apache.
Really?
Yes, sir. He helps us with our cow side of things also on our special cows. We'll normally have a couple of them a year.
Yeah.
We're actually going to have one January 17th. Jack Sherry is going to have a complete dispersal right here.
Okay.
And we'll be representing his cattle only. But basically they swap an hour on, an hour off is how the auctioneers do it. We have 2 of them. Greg Griffith, my partner, which runs Oklahoma City and helps us here. He started out as an auctioneer. His dad was one of the first owners, and the Griffith family actually owns this facility. But if somebody happens to be sick or has a flat tire, Greg can fill in, and he actually does it on Wednesdays, does our video sale.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
The video sale on Wednesday is live?
Yes, sir.
On video?
Yep. It is actually live, and we will show the cattle on that big screen TV if you come to this facility.
Okay.
And then obviously on Cattle USA, and you have to be, pre-registered, but
Right.
you vid right there, and it is a live auction.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
And so do you think it looks like the market's going to be healthy, and
Looks like it's going to be healthy. It does.
do you see any influence from, we saw the headlines about maybe importing more, letting more Argentina beef, or if Mexico opens up again, do you see any of those forces dropping down prices any?
Yes, I see it affecting it a little bit, but we're still very tight. We can't raise enough beef in the United States for the United States at certain times of year.
Right.
Argentine beef is a lean beef. We're really good at our job here in the United States, so we raise a lot of the higher end, prime steaks. Argentina is going to be over here. They're going to send a lot of meat that we grind. The Mexico deal is doing a better job. They've done a better job of putting some bulls in over the time and doing a better job. But they're a lesser quality meat than we raise here in the United States.
So they can't take over too much of market share?
They're not going to.
Quality's not there?
No, sir. And if they said, hey, we're going to open up this deal tomorrow, it will be the way I understand it, that it will be a slow process to make sure that we don't get the horn fly in the United States. If we do, we have a way to contain it, and just kind of, it'll take a little while to get them cattle, the system figured out, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
How does it work? You bring up a good question, like on the health of the cattle.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that restrict you guys, or do you have to check things, especially if they're coming from out of state or you're shipping out of state?
Yes.
Or is that on the buyer and the seller?
It is on the buyer and the seller. If you're coming here from the state of Texas and there's a little bit of discrepancy on that, most of our producers on the pot loads get a set of health papers, have their vet check them over and so forth. It's not required by law. I do not believe. I'm not 100% on that when they come across Texas. But when they leave here, we have our vet stay, and they have to have health inspections, health papers to go to the northern states. Yes, sir.
There.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think that kind of answers most of my questions, you know, kind of talking about the producers, what the market's looking like and how they sell. And some people private treaty, some people
yes, sir.
have special sales, but most of the transactions happen right here. This is the marketplace for buying and selling, right? From the field to the packers.
Yep.
This happens right here.
Yep. Your calves, cows, your bulls.
So if it was a small operator, you know, like us, a couple dozen head or something, what they can come to you? Or if they're a large operator, run a couple hundred.
Shoot you out. You can still come to me, whatever. Obviously, we answer the phone 24/7 here at Stockman's. We're pretty old school. We don't have no answer machine. Answer machine is me, Amy, Greg, Bob. You know, we want to do this right here. We want to visit with you and one-on-one to see how we can work for you. But you can call the office here, 1-580-588-3840. Okay. Or you can call me on my cell phone. I'd love to visit with you, 580-530-1445. Like I said, my name's Justin. We would love to visit with you. Of course, we're on social media. You can go to our website, Stockman, Oklahoma. You can check us out there.
And you put out a weekly report on Facebook.
Yes, sir. Right? Yes, sir. A lot of the time I do. I didn't this past week, but yes, I try to just to communicate, but sometimes it don't always get done, you know. But
is it best for a seller to make an appointment or call first?
That works the best. Yes, sir. That way we kind of know what we got going. We'll send out a list the night before to our main big order buyers and some people. They'll kind of know what's coming, and then that helps us line up the way we sell some of our cattle, you know, and tell you what time. If you want to be here, if you need to take your kids to school on a Thursday, and you say, Justin, when I need to be there, so well, Cody, what works best for you? You know, how about 10 o'clock on Thursday? Then I know we don't get log jam back there, and we can kind of work with you.
Okay.
You know, because a lot of these little sale barns were built in the 60s.
Right.
You know, and things were a lot simpler back then.
Sure.
You know.
Didn't have all the tools, electronic tools, media and stuff?
Yep.
Well, if I wanted to buy, if I was looking for something, but I couldn't be at the sale, you said you guys...
We have an order buying business, yes, sir. Apache order buying. You can get a hold, like I said, me, Bob. You can reach out to us, call the office. We'd love to buy cattle for you in the city or here or on, you know, whatever we can do for you.
Okay.
But yes, sir.
Well, very good, Justin.
Yes,
well, I appreciate all the info. I hope y'all got something out of it. I know it's been on the headlines, beef prices and everything. A lot of people blaming the farmers, the producers and stuff. But if you need more info on the cattle business, especially local, the marketplace, give Justin a call, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Justin.